Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Thailand court dismisses Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin after finding him guilty of an ethical violation. Throws the country into a fresh bout of political turmoil. After Kursk, Russia declares emergency in Belgorod amid increased Ukrainian attacks. Moscow destroys 117 drones launched by Kyiv. And the US says it's aiming to turn the temperature down in West Asia and pushing for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin of Thailand has accepted his dismissal by the country's constitutional court over a controversial cabinet appointment. Earlier, the court had dismissed Srettha Thavisin as Prime Minister, saying that he had violated constitution by appointing a person who did not meet the required ethical standards. Srettha Thavisin had appointed a former lawyer who had served jail term in his cabinet, creating political upheaval. Now the parliament is scheduled to meet and vote for the new prime minister on Friday.
I am saddened by the fact that I am seen as a prime minister without morality, which I affirm I am not such a person. But when the judiciary has made a decision, I have to accept it.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that his troops were continuing to advance in Russia's Kursk region and they had moved forward 1 to 2 kilometers in various directions. Zelensky said that Ukraine had captured more than 100 Russian servicemen during the cross-border incursion on Wednesday.
Our defense forces troops continue their offensive on the territory of the Kursk region. Since the start of the day, troops have advanced 1 to 2 kilometers in various directions. The search and destruction of the enemy in the settlement of Sudza has been completed. Since the beginning of the day, we have taken captive about 100 enemy soldiers.
Meanwhile, Russia claimed to have destroyed 117 drones and 4 tactical missiles launched by Ukraine overnight, mostly over the Kursk, Voronezh and Belgorod regions. Russia has declared a regional emergency in Belgorod amid increased Ukrainian attacks. In a significant escalation of the Gaza conflict, Israel's military launched a large-scale operation in southern and central Gaza, killing multiple Hamas operatives and destroying key military infrastructure over the last 24 hours. The operation targeted strategic sites including sniper posts, missile launch sites and other military installations, striking at least 40 targets in a bid to weaken Hamas's military capabilities. The Israeli military has ordered more people living in Khan Yunis to evacuate immediately. They've released an updated color-coded map of Gaza, which shows more blocks that need to be evacuated. Now, this is a part of their strategy to deal with Hamas, who they believe are hiding among civilians and launching attacks from residential areas. And Sarah Coates sent us this report from Tel Aviv.
Of rockets fired toward Tel Aviv yesterday. One of these did not clear that border fence. The other one landing in the sea just behind me. Long-range rockets, they were claimed by Hamas. And according to the Israeli military, that we do need to remember here, one of those is on the restrictions on people returning to the northern part of the Gaza Strip. Another one is which Palestinian prisoners will be released in exchange for Israeli hostages. And then, of course, there is the continued Israeli presence on the Philadelphia corridor and also the Rafah border crossing. So certainly a lot to get through. We do understand, of course, that these key mediators like the Egyptians, the Qataris, they're really trying to push these warring parties to come to a deal amid a lot of fear that if a deal isn't reached, that Iran may actually attack Israel very soon.
The United States has approved the sale of fighter jets and other military equipment worth $20 billion to Israel. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has approved the sale of military equipment, including fighter jets, tank cartridges, explosive mortar cartridges, and vehicles to Israel. Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant thanked U.S. officials for helping Israel maintain its qualitative military edge in the region and U.S. commitment to Israel's security. Earlier this week, Washington, D.C. released $3.5 billion to Israel to spend on U.S. weapons and military equipment. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield has said that the U.S. is aiming to turn the temperature down in West Asia. The envoy said that the U.S. is pushing for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, including the release of hostages.
The United States' overall goal remains to turn the temperature down in the region, deter and defend against any future attacks, and avoid regional conflict. That starts with finalizing a deal for an immediate ceasefire with hostage release in Gaza. We need to get this over the finish line. Again, we urge every member of this council to say clearly and unequivocally that it is time to finalize and implement this agreement.
Bangladesh's interim government has cancelled the public holiday on 15th August, which marks National Mourning Day. The decision was taken at a meeting of the Advisory Council chaired by Mahmood Yunus. 15th August had been observed as National Mourning Day in Bangladesh for the last 15 years during the erstwhile Awami League-led government. On Tuesday, Sheikh Hasina called on the people of Bangladesh to observe the National Day of Mourning on 15th August, which is the death anniversary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founder of Bangladesh. Greece's worst wildfire of the year has damaged homes, vehicles and other properties in the capital, Athens. The fire was brought under control on Tuesday after killing one and damaging landscapes across towns. A latest footage released on Wednesday shows damage caused to around 10,000 hectares of land. The government has announced a compensation and relief measures for victims of the fire. And now take a look at what else is making news around the world. An Italian business person was arrested in Brazil as part of an international investigation into a mafia network worth an estimated $550 million, Italy's financial police said on Tuesday. Chile has deployed satellite maps to monitor the health of trees in its capital, Santiago. This happened after a massive tree fall after strong winds toppled power poles and knocked out electricity to thousands of homes early this month. Underway in New Zealand over distribution of methamphetamine-laced candies. The Auckland City Mission, a charity that distributes food to those who cannot afford the same, apologized for distributing the candies. 3 people sought medical support after eating them. Alphabet's Google unveiled new Pixel smartphones with deeper integrations of its artificial intelligence technology. Newer integrations include a Pixel-only feature that allows users to search for information stored in screenshots. A captivating time-lapse video captured by a flight engineer on the International Space Station shows beautiful views of the moon setting among vibrant red and green auroras. This was followed by a mesmerizing sunrise that illuminated the spacecraft docked near the space station. Let's now take you live to Atari in the Indian state of Punjab, bordering Pakistan, for a special patriotic cultural program on the eve of India's Independence Day. from Atari bordering Pakistan. on DD India Live. Japan's Prime Minister Kishida Fumio to step down in September. And US military conducts live fire drills in South Korea to test its readiness against attack from the north.
This week on Defence Dynamics, we will tell you about India's defence preparedness and readiness for future challenges to safeguard the country's borders. An exclusive look at Tarang Shakti 2024, which demonstrates India's dedication to strengthening defence cooperation worldwide. Watch Defence Dynamics on DD India every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Japan's Prime Minister Kishida Fumio has said that he will step down in September, ending a 3-year term marred by political scandals and paving the way for a new premier to address the impact of rising prices. In a press conference on Wednesday, Kishida announced his decision not to seek re-election as the Liberal Democratic Party leader.
The most obvious first step to show that the Liberal Democratic Party will change is for me to step aside. I will not run for the upcoming presidential election. I will continue to support the new leader who will be elected through the presidential election as a comrade. This has been on my mind since the incident first occurred. Now that the diplomatic schedule for the time being has settled, I would like to make a clean break by stepping aside and moving on to support the presidential election.
組織の長として責任を取ることにいささかの躊躇もありません。
His decision to quit has triggered a contest to replace him as party boss and, by extension, as a leader of the world's 4th biggest economy. Kishida's public support eroded amid revelations about the party's ties to the controversial Unification Church and, more recently, unrecorded political donations made at LDP fundraising parties. In another break from the past, Kishida also eschewed corporate profit-driven trickle-down economics in favor of policies aimed at boosting household incomes, including wage hikes and promoting share ownership. The US military conducted live fire drills in South Korea on Wednesday to test their deployment readiness on the Korean peninsula. The drills took place at Rodriguez Live Fire Complex in Pocheon, north of Seoul, near a heavily fortified border with North Korea. This temporary deployment comes in addition to the nearly 30,000 US troops that are stationed in South Korea as part of efforts to deter nuclear-armed North Korea. India's President Draupadi Murmu will address the nation on the eve of the country's 78th Independence Day. The speech will be broadcast at 7 p.m., that is 13:30 GMT, on Doordarshan and Akashvani. Doordarshan is India's state-owned television network and Akashvani is India's public radio service. The President's address will initially be aired in Hindi, followed by an English version. Thereafter, regional language broadcasts will be presented by Doordarshan's regional channels, ensuring that the President's message reaches as many people as is possible. Akashvani will broadcast regional language versions of the address at 9:30 p.m., that is 1600 GMT, on its regional networks. So India will celebrate its 78th Independence Day on Thursday. Ayushi Ahuja reports on how, in an age of likes, shares and hashtags, patriotism has found a new home online in India.
What does patriotism mean to you? Surely it is more than draping your national flag over your shoulders. Are you more patriotic than your grandparents? And if you're a proud Indian like me, can anyone be more patriotic than those countless brave hearts who sacrificed their life for the sake of the nation? Today, patriotism finds its voice in the digital realm. A tweet, hashtag, or viral content can start a war just as easily as it brings people and countries together. Rewind to the 1970s and 80s. India's public broadcaster Doordarshan ran a public service campaign called Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. It meant, when your tune connects with my tune in Hindi. Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. In 1974, the Films Division of India broadcast an animated short film titled Ek Chiriya Anek Chiriya. It spread a message of unity. Decades have passed since then, generations have come and gone, but the sentiment remains the same. The love for India endures, only its expression has evolved, moving from traditional displays to the digital domain. Take for example, hashtag Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. It is Hindi for tricolor in every house, referring to the three colors of India's national flag. To celebrate 75 years of India's independence, the government encouraged citizens to hoist the national flag at their homes and share photos online. Hashtag Main Bhi Chaukidar campaign, ahead of the 2019 general election, saw millions of Indians adding Chaukidar to their Twitter handles, symbolizing their role as protectors of the nation. Main Bhi Chaukidar means I am too a watchman. During the COVID-19 pandemic, patriotism became even more participatory. 1 billion Indians responded to Modi's call by banging pots, pans and other utensils to honor frontline workers such as doctors and nurses. Another good example is the hashtag Salute Selfie campaign as part of the Azadi 70 Saal Yaad Karo Qurbani initiative. It meant 70 years of independence. Let's recall the sacrifices made. This campaign urged Indians to take a selfie while saluting and post it online as a tribute to soldiers who defend the country. And who can forget Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Clean India Mission, launched on 2nd October 2014, the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The countrywide campaign seeks to eliminate open defecation. As India celebrates its 78th anniversary of independence, never forget, patriotism is not where we have been, but where we are going. Here's wishing you all a very happy Independence Day. Jai Hind. With camera person Aniket Dubey, I am Aisha Huja reporting for DD India.
So as India celebrates its 78th Independence Day, it's time to celebrate many firsts and milestones the country has achieved in various domains. India's tremendous space surge is marked by two remarkable missions, Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1. The successful launch of Chandrayaan-3 made India the first nation in the world to successfully land on the south pole of the moon. And Aditya L1, India's first space-based mission to study the sun, is also making strides. India's Comptroller and Auditor General has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Uzbekistan's Chamber of Account. The MOU aims to enhance collaboration and exchange of expertise in auditing between the countries. It would promote dissemination of best practices, creating a global network of expertise. The MOU would pave the way for greater accountability and improved governance too. India's total exports for July 2024 is estimated at $62.42 billion, registering a positive growth of 2.81% vis-a-vis July 2020. Total exports during April to July 2024 is estimated at $261.47 billion, registering a positive growth of 6.65%. The cumulative value of merchandise exports during April to July 2024 was $144.12 billion as compared to $138.39 billion during April to July 2023, registering a positive growth of 4.15%. Non-petroleum and non-gems and jewelry exports registered an increase of 5.69% from $25.47 billion in July 2023 to $26.92 billion in July 2024. And talking to media persons, Commerce Secretary Sunil Barthwal said that India's exports can get a further boost despite global challenges. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Foxconn Chairperson Yang Liu on Wednesday and highlighted the wonderful opportunities that India offers in futuristic sectors. The Prime Minister also discussed Foxconn's investment plans in India. In a social media post, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Wonderful to meet Mr. Yang Liu, the chairman of Foxconn. I highlighted the wonderful opportunities India offers in futuristic sectors. We also had excellent discussions on their investment plans in India in states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh." And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. You can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen now to download it. And let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran from all of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.